Kristen.
Hi, I'm here. Welcome so much to Candidates Conversations, hosted by Fort Bend Voters League. As you may know, we're a nonpartisan organization who supports voter engagement, and our motto, in fact, is bringing civility to public discourse. Thanks so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I really do appreciate taking time. And for your voting base to kind of get to know you more as a person and get to know how you stand on certain issues. So I do appreciate your time. Let's get started. Just to clarify, you're running for Fort Bend ISD Trustee Position 3. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Can you tell us what is your biggest motivator for serving Fort Bend ISD and what uniquely qualifies you for the position?
Sure, thank you. My biggest motivator, and I think my top priorities, is going to be safety in schools. That is from unsafe overcrowding. Mm-hmm. That is from the bullying that continues to go unaddressed in schools, mainly because it is unreported, I feel. And it's also to make sure that, we've had incidents of students bringing in knives and guns to the schools. We want to make sure that we ensure that we don't have individuals coming into the school property. So overall safety for both the schools and ensure that our students remain safe. I want to bring the focus back to the schools, the students, the teachers. I want to ensure that we have quality education and we have academic excellence across the entire school district in all schools.
Is there anything you would say uniquely qualifies you
Sure.
as somebody that's running?
So I have been in Fort Bend County for the last 30 years in Sugar Land, and I went to Clements High School.
Oh.
I have an undergraduate from University of Texas and a master's in business from University of Houston. I graduated from UT at the age of 20, and since then I've been in business for the last 22 years. I have vast experience managing successful businesses, owning and managing. I've been very active in the community at large. I've worked with several different groups. I work from youth all the way to seniors, special needs, the marginalized community. I have a unique perspective on working with all of these different demographics and populations. And as a mom, as a business owner, as a volunteer in the community, I feel I am very well qualified to be in this position. I care for my community, and that is why I'm running.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So what would you say are the three biggest challenges the school district faces right now, and what can be done to best address these challenges?
Sure. So I think we've already kind of beat that. A lot of, we've heard this in the news a lot about the overcrowding in quite a few schools. And generally this has been in the areas where there has, where the ISD has experienced growth. So I think we need to better plan for areas of the ISD where there is still growth that we're going to be experiencing. I don't feel that has happened really well, like we've planned really well for these areas. That's why we're seeing a lot of overcrowding in these schools. My other thing is in terms of fiscal responsibility. I was sitting on the Fort Bend ISD, the 2018 Fort Bend ISD Facility Steering Committee, and some of the decision making that I felt that was coming out, or even the votes that were taken, I personally felt I didn't find them to, aside from making common sense, it didn't seem to be fiscally responsible. We just passed a big bond of nearly $1 billion this November, and I want to make sure that we make sure that these monies are spent wisely and in schools that are needed. And the third thing is we have areas and pockets of the school district where we have there's inequality in terms of the the resources and the support. We find parents fighting for schools, and we want to ensure that every single school in Fort Bend ISD is a great school, is a good school. So we're not fighting for this school or that school. We want to make sure that parents we have equal representation, and we have equality in education across the entire school district.
That kind of brings me to you guys have a very diverse socioeconomic base within your district. And so I hear what you're saying, and do you feel that how can they best minimize that achievement gap that we're seeing varying school to school, and what can be done about that?
So I think a lot of it for me personally, and that is my passion, is the early childhood learning and programs. I think that in areas where we do have individuals and communities that may be more, I don't want to say, and that may be more challenged in terms of being able to be present or be able to support their children as it may be in other schools. I want to make sure that we have strong early childhood programs. We have early literacy programs. I think starting at a very lower level, as the student even enters, Fort Bend ISD, you want to make sure that all the children entering are all entering at the same level. So as a teacher, you're not feeling stressed that you're having to address individuals who may have already gone through some preschooling programs versus others who may not. So, those achievement gaps start at a very younger age, and that we need to start addressing it there. But as we already continue to have these achievement gaps, whether it's in middle school and in high school, as we stand presently, we need to make sure we have enough support and resources to those schools where the need exists currently to bring the students up.
What involvement have you had in your community or in your district directly? And I would like to answer these three individually to put you in touch with the needs of the students in particular, and then the parents and their needs, as well as the teachers who sometimes are forgotten in the needs of what their needs are.
Sure. So as I told you, for the last 22 years, I've been very involved. I'm 42 years old right now. So I've been very involved since I graduated from UT, working in the community. I've worked with various different community organizations, served on various boards. I've come across parents, across teachers, across students. Currently, I continue to mentor students who are in high school and those who are in college as well. So I hear a lot from them. I feel like I'm uniquely placed because I work with various different demographics across Fort Bend County, across Fort Bend ISD. I've worked with various different communities and different age groups as well, whether it's the students or the teachers or the parents. So I feel like I've heard it all. I understand what the issues are. I understand the challenges that teachers face in the classroom level. I understand what the students may be facing. I understand what the parents may be facing. So I've because I've served for the last 22 years on various boards and committees, I feel like I'm very well in touch with the issues of the school district.
Do you feel that there's something that the district could do that would put them more in touch with what's going on?
I think it needs to be better communication. I think one of the challenges that we've seen is the communication. I know that the district does do some listening tours, but I think we need to step up more, and I think we need more of the admin and the board members both out together to address and really hear, listen to what the challenges are, and then go back and see how much of that we can take back and actually put into action.
Right. Great point. Now we have a lot of growth in our areas, and actually Fort Bend is one of the most diverse counties, speaking more than 90 languages and dialects throughout our school district. How can you ensure that the diverse student body's needs are addressed with both cultural and language diversity?
Sure. So I speak 5 of those languages, by the way.
Wow!
so I'm well familiar with diverse languages and diverse cultures. I think we're very fortunate to live in Fort Bend County and to be part of Fort Bend ISD. We are the most diverse county in the United States. So we have a lot to learn from each other. I think what we can do is learn from the other communities that are out here, hear what their challenges may be, and also learn how can they add value. Because all of us who come from these various different communities, cultures, backgrounds, we all have something to add in a positive manner to the school district. And I think it's important to make sure that we have those individuals and those communities and those cultures represented, and have a voice at the table to see what positivity and messages can we take from them so we can give that back to the Fort Bend ISD itself.
And I do believe that diversity is one of our most exciting strengths.
Absolutely.
It really,
Absolutely.
truly is. You mentioned in your opening about school safety and bullying and stuff like that. What would you like to see happen in the district to address those?
I'd like to make sure, in my opinion, I went to high school here, and I'll tell you, as will most children, that they did experience bullying, whether it's because they spoke with an accent, or whether they looked different, or whether they spoke different, or just because they weren't part of a different crowd. It can be any of these reasons, and as children, you're at a very sensitive age. I think it's very important that children know that it is okay to report it. I think when the bullying happens and it's reported, I think we need to look at the process. But before the process, we need to look at and say, how can we ensure that it is reported first? Because it is when it goes unreported is when I think the child suffers, and it does affect your mental and physical well-being of the child. And I think that is very, very important for me as a mother.
You also mentioned safety.
Yes.
Is there anything you'd like to see happen in the district regarding safety?
I want to make sure, we've already had incidences in various other communities, as near as Santa Fe, which is very near to us. I want to make sure that we have processes in place to ensure that that if there are individuals who are coming in, that they are tracked. Again, I think a lot of it does lead back to the mental health of the child, because sometimes it is the students who are suffering, and they do act out in certain manners, which may be hurtful to others.
Again, I want to thank you so much for taking time to be with us today and
you.
have everybody to get to know you better. Thank you
Thank you
so
for accommodating
much.
me. Really appreciate it.
And I want to remind all of our voters out there that early voting starts April 22nd through April 30th. And don't forget Election Day on May 4th. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at the polls.